Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and this is number 22 of my mother speaking to me from heaven. Sometimes when I'm going to bed, um, I have a conversation with my mother, and I was having one then. And sometimes I want to remember what she has to say, so I'll make a video recording. I've got a book of the first number of conversations I had with my mother. You can check that out on Amazon. But this is number 22, and I'll just let my mother speak. So, hello, Mum. Hi, Matthew. It's really good to see you. You got a shipment of T-shirts today, this week, and it takes you up to 60 T-shirts. And three times this week, you've been hit with a measure of the glory of the Lord, and each time you felt like you were stoned on marijuana, and you used to have that many years ago, or you've had that a number of times, and one time you got really stoned, um, and you were just knocked out with peace, and that's how it's been three times this week, and it's just a glorious feeling, and you're only thinking as you're making your coffee that it's happened this week, but it's happened since the t-shirts arrived. And for those who are listening who don't know about the t-shirts, and you can find them in the link below. Not only has Matthew got t-shirts that you can buy with good statements on them, like successful people do things others won't. That's this t-shirt that he's got on here. Um, Not only are they good statements, but they carry a measure of glory, and the more of them that you get, the more glory comes into your life. So you're only thinking today, well, 60 t-shirts get you feeling stoned all the time, and yeah, that would be a big investment for someone. You'd want to wear the t-shirts more than the glory, but it's been wonderful. You told me years ago, and I remember because I can read your mind here in heaven. Um, but one time you prayed for your older brother Rodney, and as you started to pray for him, you got like stoned with peace, and it was God's way of saying he'll be looked after, he'll be okay. You don't have to pray for him. And there's one other time you made this big announcement to people in the year 2000, and screamed at people and said that they were worshipping the created, not the creator, when they were looking at the Olympics on screens outside a hotel. And you you shouted at them and said, the creator is God. You know, these Olympians are only created beings, and you should worship God. And after you did that, you went on a ferry trip, and when you got to another location, your friend met someone and was talking to him, and you just got hit with this peace, and you had to sit down. It was so powerful, and that piece over there was really powerful, and so was the time that you prayed for your brother. But these three occasions you've had this week are similar to that, and it's the glory of the Lord. And you're trying to find out information about the glory of the Lord, because you're starting to manifest it yourself now, Matthew, and you've looked up glory, and you've tried to find people's books on glory, and uh, tried to find descriptions of it, and you're just piecing together information. It's a shame in the Christian life that you just can't type in search words and find exactly what you're looking for in the Christian life. So much of your knowledge has come from your own self-exploration and your own testimony, your own finding things out yourself. And so things have been hard for you to find things out. Um, uh, so so you're finding things out about the glory, and that's a good thing. Okay, Matthew, I've got someone here that Natalie who wants to ask you a few questions, and and so I'll just let her, Natalie, for those who are interested, is a child that's in heaven that's got questions for Matthew, and when Matthew tunes in and speaks to me, the whole of heaven tunes in and listens, and everyone in heaven's got questions, and so she's got a couple of questions for you, so you can go on the next 10 minutes answering her questions. So her first question is, so hi Natalie, how are you? It's good to talk to you again, Matthew. I've missed you so much. It's been a long time in heaven time since I've talked to you. My first question is that how do you cope with your sin life, being so close to God? Well, Natalie, it's a struggle, but what I have to remember is you've never been on earth, but there's a song on earth, turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. So when I sin or I do something wrong, I just turn my eyes upon Jesus, and he makes things right. It's interesting that the last line of that in the light of his glory and grace, and now the glory of the Lord is starting to manifest in my life. I had a good time today. My brother went and played poker, and I met a guy at poker who's desperately lonely, and we brought him home to have a coffee, and it was really good talking to him. He left the church 20 years ago and is pretty angry with the church and Christians. But it was great to be able to have someone that's lonely and has had a troubled life, spending time with us. So what's your next question? Are you excited about advertising your free book website on Google, paying for people $300 a month to make your website popular on Google? Yeah, I am excited. Search engine optimization is a process for those people who are listening. Is when you search words like personal prophecy request in Google, you can pay a firm to make your website become one of the top 5 search results that come out, and it's very competitive to get on top of Google and costs a lot of money. And I've done that for my personal prophecy website, but now I'm going after the world's free Christian books, and I'm going to have my website there so people can read my books for free on the free website. And if you click in the description tag underneath this video, you can read 40 of my books for free on the internet. And so I'm excited to pay for them. It'll take between 4 and 6 months for that to start appearing and have success. and I'm excited about that. In fact, this week when I decided to do that, um, and that's the first time I got hit with the glory. So it was after an act of obedience, like years ago, when I said to those people uh, to worship the Creator. Jesus told me to shout that out, and so I did, and I got hit with this glory. And when I was talking to my mum earlier in the week, and I decided to advertise my website on Google. Um, I'll get the search engine optimization firm to do it. Um, I got hit with the glory as like a reward for obedience, and so I'm really excited about it. And as an author, I just want people to read my books, and um, so I'd like the idea of thousands of people per month being able to read my books, and that would be really good. Um, so I look forward to putting like a website counter on there so I can tell how many people are coming to the website. Um, yeah. Uh, so that's the second question. What's your? We got 4 minutes for 10-minute mark to be up. So what's your third question? Um, what compelled you to uh, uh, have the guy come into your house today? Well, I was going to talk to this guy from poker down in his car, and then I thought it would be a lot more comfortable if he came up into my house. I invited him up into my house, and what compelled me is I noticed he was talking a lot, and when he went to leave poker, he lost, and when he went to leave, he came to talk to me, and he was just lonely. He just wanted the company, and as someone who's been really lonely himself and who doesn't have friends, um, I just thought I'd give him the gesture of having a good night and having some fellowship. And I was also very interested in the fact that he used to be a Christian and now he's upset. And I just wanted to show him some Christian hospitality. And Natalie says, that's what's so good about you, Matthew. And we watch you from heaven. You, you're attracted to the hopeless and the down and out and the hurting, and you've got this big love in your heart for the brokenhearted. And I asked that question because I wanted other people in heaven to realize that when you heard him talking a lot, you just wanted to interact with him because you knew that talking a lot is a sign of loneliness. And I wanted people in heaven to realize that. Um, uh, Katrina says that when she comes inside of you and she sees things through your eyes, Katrina's like a witch that Matthew knows. When she can see things through your eyes, she notices you looking at pretty young women or pretty women. But one thing she notices more than that is you looking at the downtrodden and the brokenhearted, and your eyes get attracted to them more than pretty women, and um, you've just got such a great heart for the brokenhearted, and he was really touched with um, with being invited up tonight, and he went to sleep thinking about his visit, and I just want to tell you that you're going to see him again, and and there's going to be a friendship develop. Oh, so you've got another question, Natalie? Yeah. Um, what do you think is the answer for Christianity? Uh, now in the world, now that Biden has got in. Um, the Christian church, the Christian church, they really need to learn how to be intimate with Jesus. They need to learn how to have intimacy with Jesus. And there's a lot of people who are Christians, but not a lot of bridal company, not a lot of bride of Christ. And so I feel the most important thing for a Christian to be is intimate with Jesus. And when you're intimate with Jesus, you can speak to saints, you can meet angels, you can converse with angels, you can converse with Jesus. Um, the whole of the supernatural opens up. Um, so I've got a book called Seven Keys to Intimacy with Jesus, and I don't mention the book for people to buy it. I mention the book because it'll teach you seven keys uh, that if you implement, you'll become intimate with Jesus. And very happy with that book. I'm very proud of that book. And intimacy is just the key. If you're intimate with Jesus, he'll never say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." So there's a lot of Christians who don't believe you can lose your salvation, and they're uh, believing heresy and misteaching. They've been mistaught. Uh, but for those who understand that Christians can go to hell, you can't go to hell if you're intimate with Jesus. And so it's a very important thing. So goodbye, Natalie, and talk to Mum. Actually, this is June. Bob wants to talk to you. And for those who are tuning in and you haven't seen messages from my mother, Bob is my father's name, and he wants to talk to you. I remember, this is Bob, I remember telling you don't have your brother living with you again, and your brother is living with you again, and he's been totally fine because he's on medication and he's not manic, and you get concerned for him because he sleeps a lot, and you get concerned with him because he hasn't got a lot to do. But you get concerned for anyone, and it's working out well, and he's enjoying himself, and he's got his friend here living at your house, and um, you're you're got 3 books on the go at the moment, and in two with the publisher getting ready to be published, and one with an editor getting edited, and you've got another 2 books ready to be edited by yourself, and you're having a break from one because it was hard. And so proud of you, Matthew. Um, your books are light, and they all contain the pure gospel of Jesus Christ, and they all point towards Jesus. And I'm so proud of uh, of what you've written. Uh, I've I've read your books multiple times, and uh, even in heaven with advanced knowledge and good teachers, and even being mentored by prophets, I recognize the Holy Spirit's wisdom in your books, and how the Holy Spirit used your stories and your voice, but He spoke through you in your books. And um, I just never really told you on earth when I was living how proud I am of you, and it's only since I've been in heaven that I've realized the great work you've done in this books. And as you get this website found on Google and people can find your Christian books and you start to get readers of your books, you're going to have a good impact on the world. And very happy mum, and heaven is very happy that you're going to spend the money to get your books found on Google. And we're just so excited about that project. And I'm just so happy with you. You've fallen back into your sin life, and you're not cut up about it, and that's good. You'll be free of that soon again. And we just love you, mate. We just love everything that you're doing, and the Michael Jackson book and the Angel book and the book from Jesus. They're all good books. The Interview with Joseph is a good book. Our Adventures in the Supernatural with Jonathan is a good book. And how many people have 5 books on the go? So this guy you met tonight was talking about how he's going to write a book and going to have a ghostwriter, and it's amazing. You didn't tell him that you had 5 books on the go at once, and it's such a big thing for a person writing a book. And you didn't tell him, and you could have told him, but you didn't tell him that your autobiography is like out of your 60 books, it's in the bottom 5 selling books, and autobiographies just aren't popular. And people who have read your autobiography have been pleased with it, and there's good reviews of your autobiography. It's just that not many people read it, and it's about 8 years old now, so it's not current, it's not up to date. But you've done a good job, but autobiographies just don't sell unless you're a very popular person. And but he was excited, and he told good stories. He was a bit of a storyteller, and you enjoyed speaking to him. You're just such a. I watch you in heaven, and I go everywhere with you in shopping centres, and when you go out, and you're just an exciting person to be with and to watch, and how you interact with people. And wearing a mask actually stops you from talking to people as much as you do, but you still like going out most days. And you're just so friendly to people, and it does stem from your loneliness, because you're lonely, you like starting conversations with people, but it's because you're an evangelist and you like blessing people, and you love to go up to people and give them a prophetic word and encourage them. And, it's really interesting to listen to Bob Jones and Kim Clement, be taught by them what a prophet is and to be prophetic. And it's interesting to develop the mind of Christ and understand how you think. For years, Mum and me, your mother and me, used to worry about how you walked around with the whole world on your shoulders, and you had such concern for the earth and such concern for the Christian church, and we could never grasp it. We could never understand, like, the pressure that was on your shoulders and how you worried for the state of the earth. And I could never understand it, and Mum couldn't understand it. We tried to tell you that you don't need to feel these things. You don't need to think like you're thinking, and we couldn't understand it. And now I do. Now I've had access to your thoughts and access to the prophetic and access to the mind of Christ. And now I do see the state of the world and the state of the Christian church. And I hear your thoughts, um, and it's sad. And it's a good thing that the glory is coming on you, because it's a pretty depressing world with Donald Trump being taken out. And so I really enjoyed speaking to you, and your mother wants to come back for a few minutes. Well, her mother, Emma, Grace, wants to come and talk to you. So I'll just put Grace is her name, listeners, but Matthew always knew her for the Jewish name for a mother called Emma. And so Emma wants to come on and say something. Matthew, heaven knows when you're going to give up your sins and be free of it. You just need to walk in that freedom now, and just be at peace within yourself. And um, I really enjoy these 5 books that you're working on, and I've seen the final copies, and I really like your Joseph cover. Um, you can you can um, you can share screen and show people your Joseph cover. There's my Joseph cover, and there's cover of the interview with Jesus. Jesus Christ speaks from heaven. That's the Jesus cover, and here's the Michael Jackson cover. Michael Jackson speaks from heaven, uh, and there's one more cover that you haven't got here in your files here, but there were some good covers for people to see, and got a good cover designer, and I'm really pleased with what you've said in those books, what the saints have said in those books, and I'm really pleased with you, Matthew, just the way that you just live your life, and you're just a light to people, and you're just an encouragement, and you really are. You've noticed it. You've looked in the mirror and looked at yourself in the reflections in shop. You really are a beast. You really are a big boy, and yet you're happy with who you are, and you realise that when someone in shorts and a t-shirt and they're obese, people judge the obesity. So when you approach people, they're sort of looking down on you until you say what you do, and they're touched by it. And you really are special to me. And as you're growing up, I told you that you're special, that you're my favorite grandson, and you are my favorite grandson. And there's not many people who collect as much reward in heaven as you've got, and you know, it's 150,000 dollars has been spent on your books now, and in the United States I could almost buy a house for that amount. And you just you got 60 books that are on Kindle now, but 40 of your books are on your website for free, and you just want to promote your website for free. And you realize that people can support you financially once a month on your website for free. And you're just trusting the Lord that as people find out that they don't have to spend 99 cents on Kindle to get your book, they can just go to the website. You're just trusting that, 1 in 100 people will sign up and give you $50 a month. Uh, and slowly your support base will grow. And you're just an amazing person, Matthew. And heaven loves you, mate. Heaven loves you, and I love you so much, and I'm so happy that I'm in heaven. It's so glorious. I moved out of my house and I live with your mum and dad now, and so glorious to live in one of the bedrooms. And uh, you're going to get used to that glory that's in your life because you're going to experience it most days now. And your t-shirts have taken you over the limit. And I just enjoy talking to you so much, and it's been so long since I've talked to you. And you wrote in one of your books that one day in earth time is about 3 weeks in heaven time, and it's been quite a while since I talked to you in earth time. So it's been about a year since I've talked to you, um, and I just love you so much, and I want you to know that you're precious. And you're precious to me. You're precious. You're precious to Jesus. One person said to you, you don't know who it was, but they said whenever they talk to Jesus about you, his eyes fill up with tears. And that's true. That's true. When I talk about you to Jesus, his eyes fill up with tears. And it's so special. Jesus, Michael Jackson said it actually. Was recording a song about you, and he had to do a whole lot of takes because Jesus kept on crying. And you're so special to us, and I really want you to know it. You're so special, and don't focus on your sin, because you'll be free of it one day. And just focus on being that beautiful person. God bless you, mate. I'll hand you back to your mother. So, Matthew, this is June. I just want to tell you that, Emma stopped talking to you and she's just bawling now. She held it together while she's talking. She feels your pain, We feel your pain. The pain you feel not being able to give up your sin. Heaven just feels it. It just makes us weep. The opposite. It's the opposite of what you'd expect, that we all worried about your sin. It just makes us cry. This guy just self-medicating with prostitutes and pornography. Why can't someone fix him? Yeah. Mum loves you. And she's recognised a real growth in the last year in your life. And I'm so glad you've got over $30,000 in the bank now, that you can finance a few books and do the SEO on your website. And I'm so happy for you, mate. And you just keep on persisting, don't you? You keep on just persevering and holding on and working and resting and singing. You've got you discovered when you're part of Apple Music subscription that you can just download anyone's music onto your iTunes, and you reckon that's the best thing you've ever come across. And Your brother signed up to Netflix and found out that his old house that he lived in has got the account on the TV, and he doesn't have to pay for Netflix and gets it for free. And he's watching Netflix, he's enjoying himself, and you got enough money to support his friend living at your house and give him food for free, and everything's working for you, mate. So the reason I'm still talking and it hasn't finished is because I miss you. I just miss you so much. We used to talk every day. Now when you talk at night, it's been 3 weeks in heaven, and I really miss you between talks. And I watch you sleep, and I hear your dreams, and Satan really attacks you in your dreams. And you wake up with a bit of a fog, and it takes a couple of hours to come out of your fog. And you're just so loved by me. And you know, Natalie, who asked you the questions, she loves you more than me. She's just a little child. She loves you so much. Yeah. Part of you thinks it's your own daughter, but the way I said that, she loves you so much, mate. The children of heaven just adore you. I wish I could tell you things that you could understand. You heard what I said then, and you didn't say it. But you're just like another Jesus. And I just love you, mate. Don't ever forget that I love you and I'm on your side. Bob Jones wants to say something to you. So I'll pass Bob on. So this is Bob Jones. Like I said to you, walking to your gas station that time, your sin doesn't define you, Matthew. And when you're free of those sins, you're just going to soar. And you're free of them for 6 months this year, and that means you can be free again. And we'll get to that stage. You may need to start interviewing the Holy Spirit again for it to drop off. But I love you. Your dad cries a lot. I show him glimpses out of your life, and I talk about what you're feeling, and he hears your thoughts, and he just cries a lot, mate. And you're one of my special projects. And it's amazing that the prophets on earth haven't apologized for saying Trump was going to have a second term. You only know of one prophet that apologized, and that's upsetting. I enjoy you, mate. We watch your life like the Truman Show. The whole of heaven watches you, listens to you. And that may be hard for you to comprehend. But that's all right. One day you'll understand. One day you'll be able to accept it. So cheer up, mate, and smile, and plow ahead and do the great work that you're called to do. God bless you, and I'll see you later. See you, Mum. So if you enjoyed this video, press thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, press thumbs down. If you want to encourage me, Shane, write a comment. God bless.